Well, it's Friday, and you all know what that means. Across the Pacific in Japan, GLEAT had one of their biggest show ever, version Mega. We not only have regular matches, we have the UWF Rules type match, a kickboxing match, and plenty others. Both titles, the G-Rex and the G-Infinity titles, were also on the line, but we also witnessed the debut of Kota Ibushi, who not too long ago appeared on AEW Dynamite for Blood and Guts, and now he makes his debut in a Japanese ring after almost a year or two long gone that he's been. So that is amazing to watch. Then we move on with AEW Rampage, where we have some interesting matches. Our main event features the parking lot fight between the BCC and the Best Friends. And then, of course, who levels up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up? We're just going to find out. But for news updates, we're going to talk about what events the promotions has put out, who's been booked, what matches are set, any injuries, any signs, the whole enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you like this channel, please subscribe to us. We'll be doing reviews daily, almost every day, if it's whatever wrestling events are available. If you like this episode, please click like, leave a comment down below. So let's get started with our very first review. This one is from the Japanese promotion GLEAT with version Mega. Now this is a big event. Now I did mention there's kickboxing rules match, UWF rules match, an MMA rules match, the whole thing. But however, if you guys ask us, it's going to take forever with the MMA. No, the MMA rules are more different than down here than we normally would see in the UFC. But we'll get to that. Now, first match, well, is a dark match that they put out. We have the Yans family, consistent of Yusuke Kodama and the return of Masato Komino, who was out for quite some time due to an injury. They face Yuya Suzuma and all the way from Korea, JD Lee. Now, not much about JD Lee I know about. Yuma Suzumu, I know I've seen him before. I've seen him down in Pro Wrestling Noah when he was a member of Stinger. However, I have to say JD Lee really impressed me. He pulled up an upset when he applied a shooting star press onto Kamino, and just like that. Very impressive. So hopefully we get to see more of JD Lee coming all the way from Korea. Now, our main card, we kick off with the kickboxing rules match. We have Nao, who I don't know who she is. She faces, of course, GLEAT's very own, who's been involved mostly in UWF, but has a background in karate, Maya Fukuda. Now, if you are a GLEAT fan, you must have thought in your heads that Maya Fukuda had this in the back. However, Maya Fukuda is still learning. She is not a professional wrestler, but she does have a background in karate. That's always helpful for her. But in this case, in the second round, she got knocked out by Now, and this was a huge disappointment for her, but it is what it is. Now, our next match is a MMA's rules match. We have Akihino Gono taking on Tetsuya Izushi. I know Izushi has been involved in MMA before. Very interesting. However, I like how this match was different. Now, Gono, he is very, very calm, and he's a veteran in the MMA world, from my understanding, or from what I observed. However, he's still cool. Like, you can tell, Izushi tries to maneuver. He's playing the game where it's like, okay, I know you're gonna come attack me. But one thing that was crazy is during the post-match comments, his lower teeth, like right here, they were pushed in. Now this is nothing compared to what happened to Mina Shirakawa last year in November. But man, they look great. I hope he gets. But this match ended after 3 rounds. But this match was decided by judges by unanimous decision. They all voted Gono to pick up the win. So that's how it rolls out. Now, our next match, we have a very interesting trios match. We have Yuji Hino teaming up with Isuke Onizuka and Taka Michinoku, all the way from Just Tap Out, and a member of Just 5 Guys. Their opponent is Masakatsu Funaki, who we've seen in Pro Wrestling Noah and a former member of Congo. He teams up with the members of Polk Orchestra, Kazuma Sakamoto, and Quiet Storm. Now, one thing that was really cool I like about is the house fighting. Quiet Storm and Yuji Hino were right there. They're like two big men, and they're trying to see who can take out the other. That is a pretty interesting matchup. But, however, it was, of course, Quiet Storm with the lariat onto Onizuka to pick up the win. Next up, we got the Yoshis taking the stage. We have Dash Shizako from Sendai Girls, Kyoko Inoue, the founder of Diana, Unagi Sayaka, and Yukari Hosokawa. They are together as a team. But their next opponent is a team that both Unagi and Hosokawa have dealt with previously, but with different partners. Now their opponents call themselves the Diamond Egoist, consistent of Janai Kai, Risa Sera, Aoi, and Michiko Miyagi. Now keep in mind, Michiko Miyagi wants revenge on Unagi for losing a match where she put herself in a position to exile herself. However, that thing's changed. She even took one of Unagi's proteges to side with her. But you probably would have thought, okay, if they beat them the last time. However, this time it didn't. Unagi, who has grown so much ever since she went independent, going freelance, she used the sliding lariat onto AOI to pick up a win. This is a huge disappointing loss for Diamond Egoist, but a great win for Unagi and her team. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll see what happens till then. Next up, we have Kento Kiyomiya, Junji, Shigehiro Iri, and Jack Cartwheel taking on the members of Black Generation International, better known as BGI. We have the newest member, Keiji Sato, formerly of 60 Seconds. He teams with Yutani, Hartley Katz Jackson, and of course Kotaro Suzuki. This match, you probably would have thought there was going to be some moments in this one. Of course, the BGI were going to win this one. It was, of course, Hartley Jackson that did a somewhat of a Falcon Arrow and Juji to pick up the win. Next up, we have a UWF Rules Tag Team match. We have Shinya Aoki teaming with the King, Minoru Suzuki. They take on Yu Iizuka and, of course, the current Junior Heavyweight Champion in Michinoku Pro Wrestling, Fujita Junior Hayato. I thought this match was pretty good. I think it was very impressive. But not to mention, it was Minoru Suzuki that applied a chokehold on Iizuka, and just like that, picked up a pretty good win right there. Now our next match is our one of two tag team matches. Two of our title matches. The the G Infinity tag team titles were on the line. The challengers are none other than the Bullet Orchestra members, Galano del Mal, and of course the leader, Ryuichi Kawakami. They take on the Voodoo Murders, consistent of Jun and Rei Sato. Now, this was a pretty interesting match. Galeno del Mal, who is the son of Dr. Wagner Jr., the dude is big, I have to say. A very big guy who is almost in the equal size of both the Saito brothers. But there can only be one. But unfortunately, it was Kawakami who picked up the loss when Rei Sato applied a diving body splash to pick up the win to retain the titles. However, I knew something like this was going to happen, or had a gut feeling that someone's going to step up to challenge the Saito brothers, and it's none other than Katara Suzuki and Hartley Jackson from BGI. We know that BGI are looking for gold. I mean, they did have the G-Rex not too long ago, but they lost that one. Now, our next match, I have to say this is more of a generational match between the older guard members of the junior heavyweight division taking on the younger generation. We have, for our veterans, we have Kaz Hayashi, Minoru Tanaka, and of course Shima, taking on Jun Toncho, formerly of 60 Seconds, Asuki Aoyagi from All Japan, and of course we cannot forget our current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Minoru Hiromu Takahashi. You probably thought this match was going to be interesting. However, it was the veterans once again with their game plan that picked up the win. It was, of course, what was his name? Shima with the Meteora onto Toncho to pick up the win. However, as soon as the match was over, you see Hiromu and Toncho were getting in each other's faces. I don't know what's the deal, but it is what it is. Now, our next match is our last of the title matches. We have the G-Rex title. We have Hayato Tamura taking on T-Hawk. I thought this match was going to be interesting. However, it was T-Hawk who picked up the win with the driver just like that. Now, our next match, we have a very interesting one. We have Yumehiro Inamari teaming with Hagane Shino, Shunji Ishikawa from All Japan, Daisuke Sekimoto, and then, of course, the return of the Golden Star, Kota Ibushi. They take on the members of the GLEAT roster. We have Takanori Ito, Soma Watanabe, El Lindaman, Chek Shimatani, and Kaito Ishida. Now, there's something interesting about this match. Now, this match, there is some, not animosity, but this was a moment that Soma Watanabe was expecting. There's a picture of him that was shown that he took a photo with Kota Ibushi many years ago when he was young, and now they're standing across from each other. But you know for a fact that the opponent team will love nothing more to get a crack at Kota Ibushi, since he is well recognized in the Japanese wrestling scene. But however, it was, of course, Ibushi with the Kamagoye onto Ishida to pick up the win. I thought it was fantastic, but the match ended with a very good promo. Everybody was happy and all this and that. I'm sure that everybody would like to have a crack of Kota Ibushi in the ring. It's only a matter of time until who will be the first one to take a lucky draw. So I think that's it for GLEAT. So let's move on with AEW. Okay, AEW Rampage. Now, it opened up with 6-man tag team action. We had the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, teaming up with Keith Lee to take on Kip Sabian, the Butcher, and the Blade. Now, of course, we're always impressed by Keith Lee's strength, his power. It's always been something we expect. But however, it was Jeff Hardy with the Swanton Bomb onto Kip Sabian to pick up the win. So you can say it's a decent match, but that's how it was. So no worries about it at all. Now, speaking of the Hardys, the Bucks, the Young Bucks issued that they're now, decided, okay, it's time to get back into business to obtain the tag team titles. However, apparently the Hardys also made that clear. So basically, now is the battle of the brothers. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Ass Boys get involved in this in the future, but that's another conversation for another time. So, Matt and Jeff, the Hardys and the Bucks, said, how about let's have a match next week to prove who is the top brother tag team. So, I think that's going to be a good one to watch. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Ass Boys even appeared to prove a point, saying that they are the true brother tag teams. Now, Our next match, we have Anna Jay taking on Sky Blue. I mean, much of the match you can tell that Anna Jay has been working, but however, a lot of the comments were being made about Jericho, who's been, as you know, been not in a good position at the moment after the result of what happened on Dynamite. However, during the match, of course, members of the um, JAS were going to show up. Menard and frickin' Angelo got involved and all that, but apparently Sky Blue ended up on the wrong side of the Queen Slayer, and just like that. Now we see a very interesting interview with Chris Statlander. Apparently she had Renee Paquette on her arms doing squats. So basically she put her TBS title on the line against Mercedes Martinez. So I think that's going to be interesting to see. But I have to say the squat thing, it's great. I have to say that's a good moment. Anyway, it's been not foretold later that Pac is out on injury again. I mean, this is very, very irritating, but it is what it is. I just don't know exactly what's going on, but he's out for a while. But however, this was supposed to be a war between the three groups, the Best Friends, Death Triangle, and the BCC, so that sort of thing. But we'll see. Our next match, we have R.A. Fox and Sir Strickland taking on Logan Cruz and Tashawn, what's his name? Tashawn Press. But of course, people have forgotten about what happened last week this past Wednesday on Dynamite, attacking Nick Wayne. So I'm sure we're going to see that. But however, it was R.A. Fox with a 450 splash to pick up the win for him and for Swerve. So that kind of goes in. Now QT Marshall, they're trying to find an angle and everything. So, that sort of thing. But we'll see what happens till then. Now, Prince Nana, along with Brian Cage and Big Bill, announced that they will be the ones to dethrone FTR and become the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. So we'll see how that rolls. I mean, FTR is one of the toughest teams, but one of the most brightest ones. Very tag team coordination. So we'll see where they're going to go for that. And our match we have is the BCC, consisted of Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley taking on the Best Friends, Chuck and Trent. I mean, it was a bloody murder type, but however, Wheeler Yuta showed up and started using Screwdriver, but of course, Orange Cassidy along with Sue drived up to help, but it didn't do so well. They were able to take out Orange Cassidy sooner than possible, and then of course force Sue out of the van, but they demolished the damn van. I wouldn't be surprised if the Best Friends get retribution for destroying Sue's van, which was this is the last time it happened. But apparently the BCC picked up the win, and that was pretty much it. So how it ended. So I think that's pretty much it with AEW. I believe it's time for our last and final review, NXT Level Up. Okay, who levels up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up? Let's find out. Our first is tag team action is Malik Blade and Edris Enofe taking on newcomers Tyson DuPont and Tyree Igwe. Igwe, hopefully I pronounced it right. But nonetheless, I have to say it was a pretty good match, especially introducing Tyson and Tariq in this match, because I did not expect a whole lot, but they were very impressive. But however, the experience and teamwork between both Blade and Enofe has always been more and more impressive. It's only a matter of time until we see them win tag team gold. But this match ended with, of course, Enofe applying an elbow drop onto Igwe, picking up the win for him and with Malik Blade. Now, before our next match is involved, this interview by Kelly Kincaid involves one of the competitors involved in the next match, a newcomer named Trey Bearhill. Now, I don't know, this guy has like a bit of a look of a Indian background, Native American. Nothing against it, but that's what it is. But this guy's a big, huge boy. However, his opponent is someone who already has a bit more experience in the ring, We're talking about Miles Bourne. Now, Miles Bourne knows in this type of match, he has to be focused, knowing that he is not facing a slouch. He has a big individual who may have less experience, but however, guys like him, they always have a weak spot. Now, you probably would think that Miles Bourne would figure something out. Well, he pulled off a drop kick in order to put him down. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Now, our final and main event features the women action. We have Gigi Dolan taking on Tatum Paxley. Now, Gigi Dolan, as you know, has been very impressive going on her own. She just recently was involved in a feud towards Kiana James. However, Tatum Paxley, as you know, she has went on her own by betraying Ivy now, but it's great. But I thought this match was pretty impressive because, you know, Tatum Paxley is growing up a little bit more. But Gigi Dolan seems like the heavy favorite in this match until she applied the GG driver, and that's how this match ended. So now I did learn that there was another match that was involving, but I don't know why this was not added. It featured Fallon Henley and Izzy Dame, I think. But from my understanding, Henley won that match. But hopefully I get to see it next week or something. I don't know. We'll see. So I think that's it for NXT Level Up. Let's move on with our final thing, news updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. First things first, we're going to go with GCW. Only 2 updates coming from them. The first one is from the No Signal in the Hill taking place on the 11th of August at Chicago. Jacob Fatu has been announced that he'll be making his return to GCW. However, we do have another names that were mentioned for the Crush Up event on the 10th of September in Brooklyn, New York. We're going to have the East and West Express, Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver. I can't wait to see that. Now, as you all know, many people speculated that Jaime Hayter would come back before All In, but apparently that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. According to the Wrestling Observer, that apparently that's not going to be the case. She's going to miss out the rest of 2023. However, the estimated time that was foretold saying when she'll be back, I don't know if it's going to be a long while. Apparently, Jamie will be back by February of 2024. I mean, it is a long time, but she needs to recover 100%. So we'll see what happens then. Now, I'm planning to announce this one on the Unagi Sayaka Watch next. However, this was announced that for reasons for Sayori Onoi, who made an appearance saying that she will participate in All Japan Pro Wrestling. Apparently, she wants to face her newest friend and tag partner, Unagi Sayaka. So that's going to be an interesting match. Now, this is going to take place on September 8th at Yoyogi, and that's going to be interesting to follow. Now, Finland show called Hell City Slam 3 will have an annual tournament that will take place on right now on Saturday. However, 2 names have been announced that were involved in the block. One of them is Jazzy Galbert, better known as Alpha Female, and the other one is former AEW talent Shana. Now, that's going to be interesting to see. I'll find out more information how this match goes. Now, DEFY Wrestling has announced for the Last King event on the 23rd of September, Eddie Kingston will put the New Japan Strong Openweight title on the line against Rocky Romero. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Once again, the Black Label Pro Turbo Graps is back, and they announced the 3rd entry, and this one is a name that everybody knows. Zaya Brookside will participate in this tournament, so that's going to be great. Our 26th entry for the All-Star Junior Festival USA taking place in Philly on the 19th of August has been announced to be none other than the DKC, so that's going to be interesting to follow. Now, recently there was a huge successful match between Kairi and Sareee, better known as Sareee, Apparently, Sareee had an interview with Tokyo Sports. This is what she had to say. I want to fight Mandy Rose, Tiffany Stratton, Ember Moon, Tony Storm, Taya Valkyrie, and others in the ring. I love for them to come to Sareeism. I won't let this end just as just a dream. So apparently she wants wrestlers that could bring it. I mean, I highly doubt Tiffany Stratton will be able to come in. I mean, you know how WWE can be. I mean, AEW, they're very lenient on their wrestlers unless they come up with a deal. I mean, anything possible, but those names are great to hear. So I don't know if it's going to be a possibility, but let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope that's a possibility. So I think that's pretty much it for now. Let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we do have more of the G1 taking place. I'll be reviewing that soon enough. Of course, we cannot forget AEW Collision. Now, if there's any other events that I'm planning to review, I'll get to those as soon as possible. But for now, we'll just do what we can at this point. But for now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.